If Ghost is alive, what happens when he finally steps out of the shadows? The streets are whispering again. A shadow moving in the dark. A name people swore they buried is suddenly echoing through. New York like a warning, Ghost. And in the very first moments of Power Legacy Episode 1, there's a clue so sharp, so bold, it makes you wonder, did he ever really die? Or has he been watching the game from the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment to return? The episode begins with a cold tension hanging in the air, the kind that tells you something big is about to happen. The city is moving like it always does, loud and dangerous, but there's a strange energy underneath everything. It feels like a ghost is walking through these streets again, literally. Episode 1 wastes no time pulling us back into this world of power, lies, and legacy. The camera shows dark hallways, quick cuts of familiar locations, and a figure that looks just a little too much like someone we thought was gone forever. It's only a few seconds, but it hits like a punch. What if Ghost is alive? Right after that moment, the narration shifts and reminds us why this world never stays quiet for long. Tariq is trying to move forward, but everywhere he turns, Ghost's shadow follows him. Even the new characters look over their shoulders like they know something is coming. The show sets the tone with a quick, sharp montage, old alliances breaking, new threats rising, and secrets slipping through the cracks. It feels like the beginning of something bigger than a new season. Almost like the start of a new war, this first section of the episode doesn't just introduce a story, it creates a mystery. The writers place little hints, tiny details in the background, almost daring us to spot them. A man standing too far in the dark. A voice that sounds familiar. A line of dialogue that shouldn't mean anything, but somehow does. It's as if the entire episode is asking one question: is Ghost gone, or is his legacy planning a comeback? And just like that, the stage is set. Episode 1 is not playing safe. It's warning us that everything we thought we knew might be about to change. Episode 1 opens with a heavy silence, the kind that feels like the world is holding its breath. We see the city from above, lights flickering, sirens echoing in the distance, before the camera drops into a quiet street where a black SUV creeps forward. Inside, Tariq sits alone, his face calm but his eyes telling a different story. He's carrying a weight he can't shake, and the episode makes that clear from the very first shot. The world thinks he's stepping into his own future, but everything around him screams that his past is still chasing him. The next scene pulls us into a crowded room filled with tension. New faces mixed with familiar ones, all of them moving like they're hiding something. A whispered conversation in the corner. A phone vibrating with a message no one should see. Someone mutters, "He's not gone." Not really. The camera pans away before we know who said it, leaving the clue hanging in the air like smoke. This is where the episode starts building the question that drives everything: who is pulling the strings now? From here, the pace picks up. Tariq meets with an old ally who seems nervous, too nervous for a normal talk. Their conversation is short, filled with half-truths and sidelong glances. The ally warns Tariq to watch the shadows, a line that hits harder when paired with the strange figure seen earlier. It feels like everyone knows something they're not saying, like the city itself is hinting that Ghost's story isn't finished. Then comes the moment that makes fans sit up. In a dim hallway, a man walks past a security camera. His build, his walk, even the way he tilts his head, it all mirrors Ghost. The shot lasts less than 3 seconds, but it speaks louder than any dialogue. It doesn't confirm anything, but it doesn't deny it either. It feels intentional, like a message. The episode then shifts to show the rising threat, a new rival crew moving in with confidence that feels misplaced. They talk about taking over territory Ghost once controlled. Their leader even laughs, saying, "A dead man can't scare me." But the way his voice shakes tells a different story. The fear is real. The doubt is real. And the Ghost, whether alive or not, still owns the room. This is the part of episode 1 where things get strange enough to make every fan stop, rewind, and ask the same question. Is this really just a coincidence? Or are the writers leaving a trail? From the moment the episode shifts into its midpoint, the clues start piling up in quiet but powerful ways. Nothing is loud or obvious. Instead, the episode hides everything in plain sight. Almost like Ghost himself would, the first major clue appears in a scene that doesn't even focus on Tariq. A detective reviews an old case file, the one tied to Ghost's death. The camera slowly zooms in on the folder, and we see something unusual, a date crossed out, rewritten by someone else. It's small, easy to miss, but the symbolism is huge. Changing the date suggests the timeline of Ghost's death might not be as final as everyone believes. The detective hesitates for a moment, as if sensing something is off, but the show quickly cuts away, leaving us with a question mark instead of an answer. Then comes the background phone call. While a secondary character argues in a hallway, a voice can be heard from another room. It's muffled, but the tone, the rhythm, the calm authority, it feels familiar. It sounds like Ghost speaking to someone. Of course, the show doesn't show a face. It doesn't need to. The sound alone hits like a shockwave. Was it Ghost? A recording? Someone copying him? That uncertainty is exactly where the writers want us. Another clue hides in the music. In one tense scene, a classic Ghost-themed piano note plays underneath the dialogue. Only a couple of seconds, but fans of the Power universe know that note like a heartbeat. The show rarely uses that sound unless it wants to signal Ghost's presence. It almost feels like he's watching the events unfold from somewhere off-screen, guiding the chaos like he always did. But the biggest clue comes near the end of the episode. Tariq finds a note slipped under his door. No signature? No handwriting we've seen before. Just one sentence. The game never ends. This line is something Ghost said years ago, and the episode knows exactly what it's doing by bringing it back. Tariq reads it twice, his face freezing with a mix of fear and disbelief. Whoever sent this wants him rattled. And they know him well enough to use Ghost's words. So what do these clues mean? Maybe Ghost faked his death to escape enemies. Maybe someone else is acting in his name. Or maybe the show is preparing for a reveal that changes everything we thought we knew. Episode 1 doesn't answer the question directly, but it makes one truth very clear. Ghost is either alive, or his legacy is moving like a living force through every corner of this story. By the time Episode 1 reaches its final moments, the energy in the story shifts into something heavier and more dangerous. Every scene seems to echo the same idea. Nothing in this world is truly buried. Ghost's legacy doesn't just hang over the characters, it pushes them, shapes them, and in some moments even scares them. This episode isn't just setting up a season. It's lighting a fuse for something explosive. The final scenes quietly stitch together everything we've seen. Tariq's tension, the mysterious figure in the shadows, the strange phone call, the old case file with the crossed-out date, all of it feels like pieces of a puzzle still missing its center. The writers want us guessing, arguing, and doubting everything, and that's exactly what makes the ending hit so hard. When Tariq walks alone through a hallway, the camera trails behind him slowly. A door slams somewhere in the distance. He stops. There's no jump scare, no loud music, just a feeling that someone is watching him. Someone who shouldn't be there. This is where the predictions begin to form. If these clues mean what fans think they do, the season might be heading toward a reveal that shakes the entire Power universe. Maybe Ghost has been alive, hidden by someone powerful. Maybe he's pulling strings through proxies, shaping the streets without ever showing his face. Or maybe the show is building a psychological war, one where Tariq can't tell if he's being haunted by memories, enemies, or a man who refuses to stay dead. No matter which path the writers take, the message is clear. Ghost's story is not finished. Looking ahead, we can expect alliances to snap like thin wires. The new rival crew will push their luck, thinking the throne is empty. But the deeper they move into Ghost's old territory, the more danger they'll face, either from Tariq or from the presence nobody can fully explain. Tariq himself is standing at a crossroads. One wrong move, and he's pulled back into the same darkness he tried to escape. One right move, and he might uncover the truth everyone else is too afraid to speak. And that brings us to the final note of this breakdown, the anticipation. Episode 1 doesn't answer our biggest questions, but it gives us more than enough to know something major is coming. Every clue, every shadow, Every whispered line points to the same truth. This season is about legacy, lies, and the kind of power that doesn't die easily. So as episode 1 closes, one question stays louder than all the others. If Ghost is alive, what happens when he finally steps out of the shadows?